Are you able to hear me? Okay. So, very good. Sige, lower your hands, please. So what I will do today is kind of a short introduction, okay, about the course, and I'll also introduce you to the Matlab to the environment of Matlab desktop and Octave. Okay, so um, first things first, since most of you are also my students in the lecture uh, component of this wait lang. Most of you are also my students at the lecture component of this course. I would like to uh, I mean I think I have already oriented you about about the use of OneNote. Okay, as you can see here. Now, dun sa mga for those that haven't yet attended the first session of the lecture last Tuesday, okay, what you can do is wait for me to post the recorded synchronous session for the lecture part, and then you would be able to watch you will be able to watch what happened in that particular session. Okay. Mr. Kureg noted dyan, he has already sent me a message regarding that one. Okay, so I already read that one, and that is noted. Okay, so ayun, hindi pala ako nakakapag-reply sa kanya. Mamaya magre-reply ako konti. Okay, so as I was saying, yung paggamit ng how you would navigate yourselves within the OneNote environment is has been discussed in the lecture in the lecture component in the lecture class. Okay, so I would like to direct you to to the recorded synchronous session, okay, later on. Okay, so that you can be able to watch. Anyway, you can also watch it from here. Actually, without me loading it into or uploading it into YouTube, you can actually watch it from here. Okay. Go to to our Teams, okay, in the lecture in the lecture class, and then you can open it up on Microsoft Stream. Okay. When you open it up on the Microsoft Stream, you will be able to watch this, to watch that recorded session. Okay? So same thing with the other same thing with other recorded sessions that we will have in the future. Okay, you can watch it from there. Okay, although I am really planning on um, uploading it on YouTube, so that you would have a single playlist for all of those synchronous sessions and all of those recorded videos that we will have in this class. Okay? So ayun. So I will not discuss anymore the ways or the how would you navigate yourself into OneNote. Pero here's one thing that I would like you to look on. Who among these have already installed OneNote? Okay, so we have 11, wag niyo na ba? 11 out of okay, sige. Okay. So if you haven't done it yet, please do so after before this class. After this class, okay? Because kung may pagkakataon kayo, if you have an opportunity, please open your OneNote, and then go to your student notebook. Okay? For example, I'll open Mr. De Los Reyes notebook and verify that you already have the manual for activity 0 on your activity manuals. And at the same time, you also have something under the activity reports. Okay, the activity report for activity 0. Paki-verify nga kung meron na. Who can verify that you already have these two in your activity, ano? Dun sa mga kaka-add ko pa lang, baka wala pa kayong you might probably don't have access to class notebook yet. Okay? You need some a few more hours in order for the class notebook to be activated into your Okay? So intay muna tayo. Okay. But for others who can verify that they already have this into your class notebook. You already have something under activity manuals and activity reports. Isa pa lang. Okay, dalawa. Tatlo. Okay, so sige. So as you can see, different from your lecture class. Your notebook or your class notebook for the laboratory class has three sections. Okay, you have activity manuals, activity reports, and class notes. Okay, so class notes are for those anything that you would like to you would like to add, you would like to take note of. Okay, and you can use that space to be able to place materials that you need to that you need for studying. Okay, and then activity reports. Ito yung this is the space or the section which I would always check because yan yung gigradean natin sa inyo. Okay? Those are the activity reports are the reports that we will have to grade. Okay? So, and then of course your activity manuals are where you would find the manuals that you would need to perform a certain activity. Okay? So, is that clear? Okay, sige. Please lower your hands. Okay. So, at this point, we will first start studying fundamentals of MATLAB because I know that most of you would not have would not have any experience in using MATLAB, okay, or any computational application software for that matter, okay. So what we will discuss for today we will not really discuss fully, pero what we will discuss for today are some basics that you have to remember, okay, about have working on MATLAB and Octave. Okay, so yung mga fundamentals nung dalawa, i-discuss natin so that you would be able to choose which whether you use MATLAB or you use Octave. Medyo you would have a certain knowledge of both. Okay, so luckily for us, we will be able to use either MATLAB or Octave for the entire course. I think you can use MATLAB or Octave for the entire course. Okay? As of now kasi I haven't seen what problems we will be having if we install or if we use Octave or if you use Octave or MATLAB. Pero bago nga pala 'yon, let us conduct a little survey. Okay, sandali lang, i-prepare ko lang. Wait lang. Okay. So, please take a look at the chat box. Okay? May survey ako na nilagay diyan. Please please choose whichever applies to you. Okay, hintay ako ng konti. Look at the chat box. Okay? Okay, 50-50. Masaya to. So, it's really 50-50. Okay, sige. Noted. Who responded the other? And what do you mean by other? That's 16. We are 18 here, I think. Or 18. Yeah, 18. Sino yung sumagot ng other? Ay, hindi, baka ano to. Baka nag-error lang to. Pero it's either one of these two. Okay, anyway, sige. So it's really 50-50. Okay. So, sige. Now, let us study the environment of these two so that you would be able to work on each of those Okay. So let's start with Octave. Okay. So, um, Octave is an open source software. Okay. When you say open source, it means that others are free to make any changes on the software itself. Okay. And as it turns out, if it is free to be changed, it is also everyone can also use the software. Okay, the term free, okay, when it comes to open source software, doesn't mean that it is just free to use. Okay, it actually has you actually have the freedom to use the software in whatever purpose or whatever way you would like it to be used. Okay, yun yung ibig sabihin ng nung free in the context of open source software. Okay? May tinatawag nga yung mga advocates of open source software diyan as when you say free, it doesn't mean free beer. It means freedom to use. Okay? So that's how they define yung free when it comes to open source software. Okay? So Octave is meant to be an alternative to Matlab. Okay, so as they were as engineers were observing that Matlab, okay, which is a proprietary software, has been or is being popular, okay, among engineers, okay, in the industry and in research, okay. Um, Many of them put their best effort, okay, in order to come up with the software that would actually rival Matlab, okay, in terms of its syntax, but at the same time, it would be an open source one so that everyone could actually contribute in the development of the software. Okay, so here, ito na yung naging product niya. Yung current version ng Octave. Okay? So, um, later on, medyo mapag-iiba niyo ng konti yung interface niyan. Okay? And, wait lang. Mapag-iiba natin yung interface ng Matlab at saka Octave. Pero basically, both would contain common elements. Okay? Merong common elements yung dalawang yan. Iba lang yung arrangement. Okay? So, first thing, in terms ng Octave, screenshot ko lang to. Let me screen them. Uh, wait lang. Ah, di na natin nilagay. Features, ay, notes. Okay. Let us have this as um, MATLAB and Octave environments. Okay. So let's start with Octave. Uh, yeah, let's start with this one. Okay. So okay, so first thing, what you need to take note of is this one, which will be our menu. Okay, this is your menu. Okay, and then This one, itong part na to, okay? This part, which is your current directory. Now, this current directory is connected to this one, okay, which is your file browser. Okay? So the file browser, okay, would contain the files that are currently in this directory. Okay? Now, this is important because you would need to for example, if you are trying to access a certain external file and then you want to import it inside the Octave environment, you would need to have your current directory to be pointed to the location of that file. Okay? Um, or if you are to save a file, okay, inside the Octave environment, okay, that file would be first saved into this directory. Okay? So, here's the thing. Dun sa activity zero ninyo, you would be working on a certain set of files, okay, in order for you to perform the activities inside the activity or the listings, okay, inside the activity. Okay? So therefore, you need to download this first. Okay? I actually have given this to you before. Tsaka nasa files section nyo rin ito sa Teams natin. Okay? Pero here I am giving you another link into that. Okay? And then what you need to do is to place this or is to point this directory towards where you would save these student files. Okay? For example, okay. For example, this is the file that after you download the file, no, pag na-download niyo na tong mga files na to. Okay, after you downloaded these files, dito na siya napunta. Okay, napunta na siya dito. Okay, so ito na dito siya naka-save sa directory na to. Medyo mahaba because this is under my OneDrive. Okay, so medyo mahaba yung directory niya. Okay, pero this is the complete directory. Okay. So ayan. Okay. So what I need to do is to point para ma-access ko tong mga files na to. What I need to do in my Octave is to actually point my directory towards that direction. Okay, so punta tayo doon by clicking on this one. Okay, and then go to actually nandito siya, may shortcut ako dito. So this one, and then go here. Ito siya. Okay, activity 0 files. Okay, so I'll select that folder and then click select folder. Okay, so what would happen is that your current directory now is changed to wherever I needed it to be. And then you would see here, okay, that these are the files that are contained inside that of the of this folder. Okay? Naintindihan yan? Okay, so sige, pababa na ng hands. Okay. So, that's the first step that you need to perform whenever you are to work with whenever you are to work with Octave. Okay? So especially if you require external files, okay, if you would be requiring external files into the Octave environment, then you need to be able to change the directory, okay, into where your external files are located. Okay? Or if you are intending to save files, okay, uh, outside that of the Octave environment, kung gusto niyo mag-save ng files, okay, especially later on, you will be working on codes, okay, which we will call as scripts, okay. Um, that is where you needed to have this kind of So that's why I would recommend that I would recommend that you create your own folder for this course. Okay, so that kapag kailangan yung or if you need to save files, okay, if you need to save files, meron lang kayong isang location where your files are located. Okay? May question ba sino ba to? Si Mr. Kureg. Wala, binabanan niya. Okay. So that is your file browser. So this one, itong directory natin, this current directory, okay, and this file browser are connected. So whatever files, okay, whatever files are in this directory, okay, will be reflected here. Okay, so makikita nyo yan dito. Lahat ng files na nasa loob nito, ito yan. Okay? So, now, yeah, I think so. Sige nga. Kaya lang iba rin yung Mr. Garrido asked if this applies also to online version. Everything here applies to online version, pati yung mga basic principles saka basic niya. It's just that yung environment kasi medyo iba. Okay. Pero basically, kung ano yung principles na ginagamit sa desktop application, okay, those are also those also applies to Okay, those also applies to the online version. Okay, if you are if you would be asking ano yung sinasabi na online version, ito 'yun. Okay, so this is the online version version of Octave. This is when you do not want to install anything. Okay? So in this case, it's probably that you have to upload the files that you need to use. Wala pala siyang directory na Yeah, wala siyang directory. So you might want to upload na lang the files here. Okay, if you need an external file, you need to upload it from here. Okay? Is that okay, Mr. Garrido? Okay. So next is itong malaking area na to. This biggest area here, this one. This entire thing. This is called the command window. Okay? So in the command window, this is where you would issue commands. Okay? That is where you would issue your commands. Okay? In order for you to command Octave to do something. Okay? So when you issue commands here, if the command would result to a or if the command would return a certain value or certain result, it would also be reflected here. Okay? So kung meron kayong kung meron kayong i-command sa kanya, say for example, an operation, okay? The command is written here, and if you would allow it, the result of the command would also be reflected here. Okay, for example, ito, let us send the command 3 plus 4, or 3 plus 4, okay? So if you press enter, diyan din lalabas yung result niya. Okay? So that is where you issue command. That is also where you would expect where the results would be. Okay? Pero there is such thing that we can actually not allow the results to reflect. Okay? So by putting semicolon at the end of a command, okay, it echoes off the result, which means hindi niya display yung result. Okay, but we will know that it has a result. Okay, mamaya papaliwanag ko kung paano. Okay? So mamaya pag-usapan pa natin ng konti yung mga commands in that command window. Pero that's the command window. Okay? But take note that that entire area also has 4 tabs. Okay? Tab yan dito sa baba. Okay? So you have the command window. Okay, you have the command window where you would issue commands and display results of the commands. Okay? Tapos, meron yung second tab, which is the documentation. Okay? So the documentation is where you would find the documentation. When you say documentation, ito yung mga guides. Okay? This is where Octave puts in the guide for various functions. Okay? For example, ang default display niya dito is this one. Okay? And actually, pag ito dinaanan niyo to, you have already pag ito binasa niyo to isa-isa, okay? You have already studied Octave fully. You have fully studied Octave already kapag binasa niyo to isa-isa. Okay? So, although I am not planning to actually go through all of this in this exercise. Okay? I'd expect that if you need something or if you need to know a command or a technique, okay, that can be used, okay, inside Octave, I'd expect that you would consult this documentation. Okay. Now, one thing that you would have to remember in this course is that I would not be able to teach you how to use Octave or Matlab. Hindi ko kayo matuturuan kung paano gumamit ng Octave or Matlab. And for that matter, no teacher would actually instruct you or teach you how to use a certain software. Okay? The usage of software, okay, will always be dependent on your own effort. Kumbaga, hindi naituturo kasi, para ako kasi naniniwala kung ang software hindi talaga naituturo eh. Ang programming hindi naituturo. Okay? Nasa effort nyo yan. Okay? For example, ako sa experience ko, I don't have any formal education or any formal course na kinuha na has something to do with Matlab. Okay? But I learned Matlab, okay, when I was in college. Okay? Paunti-unti. Hindi kami tinuruan na mag-Matlab noon. Pero since kailangan namin siya sa isang particular project, okay? I needed to learn how to use Matlab. Okay? So, walang nagturo sa akin, walang nagano sa akin, wala kaming formal education. Okay? Now, how did I learn? Una, I tried out things. Okay? I always consult the documentation. Okay? I always consult the documentation. And if I needed to find a way on how to implement or execute a certain algorithm, humahanap muna ako sa internet ng kaparehong code. And then from there, if I am able to find a similar code na kailangan ko sa internet, what I would do is I would modify it. I would modify that code. Okay? Para mag-fit siya dun sa pangangailangan ko. Kasi maaaring yung nakita ko sa internet, malapit lang pero hindi siya exactly the one that I needed to use for my particular case. Okay? So, pagka ganun, kinukuha ko pa rin siya, inaaral ko kung paano tumatakbo yung code, and then i-try ko kung paano ko siya i-modify. I would determine how would I be able to modify that code in order for the code to fit into my application. Okay? So, yun, pag ganun lang, over the years, naka-build up ako ng enough experience para matutunan ko yung Matlab. Okay? And then from there, yun, naituro ko na nga siya. At malaking tulong yung nagtuturo ako ng Matlab because mas lalong dumami yung nalaman ko sa kanya. Okay? As I am teaching the software. Okay? Now, in your case, again, I would not be able to teach you fully how to use Matlab or Octave for that matter. Okay. But what I will do here is that I would be giving you some guides. Okay, I would be giving you some guides in order for you to have a path on how to learn these things. Okay? What you need to know about this course is that most of the time you would be writing algorithms. Mathematical algorithms in order to solve problems. Okay? If you have heard of numerical methods, okay, kung narinig nyo na yung numerical methods are mathematical methods, okay, that uses algorithms in order to solve problems. Okay? Yun ang gagawin natin most of the time. Okay? So, it would be tough for you to follow kung medyo mahirapan kayong gumamit ng software. So that is why I would like to start muna by orienting you with the software. Okay, pero later on you need to learn this on your own. Okay, dahil ang mangyayari kasi is that we will shift now yung attention natin towards writing algorithms. Okay? So, tutulungan ko naman kayo paunti-unti. Okay? It's just that this also requires effort from your end. Okay? This is not just something that I would spoon-feed you with. Okay? Kasi kapag hindi nyo natutunan ito, okay, hindi nyo natutunan yung pagsusulat ng algorithm, okay, you would not be able to progress in this course. And also remember that this is not the only course that you would use Matlab. This is the first of many courses in the future, okay, that would require you to use Matlab, okay, or Octave. Okay, is that understood? Yeah, walo na lang silang nakikinig. Sige, pababa na ng hands. Okay. So, please always consult this documentation whenever you do not have any idea on what to do with something. Okay? or why you are encountering errors. Okay? If you are encountering errors in a particular part, okay? There are many ways on how to find out what are the causes of the error. Okay? Kailangan nyo lang talaga siyang tiyagain kung saan nyo siya hanapin. Bukod sa documentation, may online documentation pa yan, may forums pa yan. So marami kayong pwedeng paghanapan ng source kung bakit kayo nagkakaroon ng error, okay, bakit niyo na-encounter yung ganitong results, are your results correct, okay, and so on and so forth. So what I would like you to be focused on here is you should be able to write your own algorithms at the end of this course. Kailangan marunong talaga kayo magsulat ng algorithm. Okay, so programming talaga ito. Itong course na to, this is about programming. But programming applied on the context of solving mathematical problems. Okay? So, ayan. So, this is the documentation. This is very important for you. Okay? If you are looking for a particular topic, okay, because doon talaga kayo naliligaw, then you can search this then you can use this search function. Okay, so for example, you would like to know about matrix operations. Kung meron man ito. Ayan. So you can search for matrix operations. Pwede niyo hanapin diyan kung ano yung particular na kailangan niyo. Okay? O kaya kung alam niyo yung function that you need to work on, say for example, standard deviation. Ayan. You're looking for standard deviation sa statistics. Okay? So, ayun. So, that computes the standard deviation of the elements. Okay? And then, kailangan nyo kasing alamin kung ano yung mga arguments niya. Okay? Itong mga to, yung X, yung OPT, at saka yung DIM, those are arguments. Okay? We call them arguments. So, the input to the functions are called arguments. These are functions. Okay? Yung mga STD, mga mean, mga median, okay, mga yan, mga mean square, yung mga functions yan. And then whatever inputs that you would set your functions into, those are called arguments. Okay? So, yan yung documentation. Okay? So, that's the next tab. So, the documentation contains guides, reading materials, etc. Okay, on the usage of the software. Okay, so that's the documentation. Okay. Now the third tab there is the editor. Okay. The editor is where you would compose is the environment, yan natin. The environment where scripts or and functions are written. Okay? So, pag magsusulat, madalas kasi pag magsusulat tayo ng or if we have to implement algorithms, okay, inside the Octave environment or even in Matlab environment, we will create our script or we will create our function inside the editor. Okay, an example of a script is this one. Kailangan hanap lang ako ng ito. Okay. An example of a script is this one. This script computes the factorial. Okay. So, in this case, makita nyo, mga set of commands yan. Okay. These are set of commands that can be used to, execute, okay, a command chronologically. Okay. So, pag in-execute niya, if these commands if this script is executed, each of the commands here, this one, this, and so on, are executed line by line. Okay. Now you would see that there is a part here where it would create options, okay, or create decisions, okay, using the if else if structure, okay, and another structure here where this is called a loop structure, okay, where this would be repeatedly executed until you were able to meet this one. You were able to go through all of this, okay, and then after that you would have these functions, you would have these commands in order for you to display the results. Okay, so yun yung isang example ng script natin. Okay, we call this as a script. Okay. Sa C, kung nakapag-C na kayo, this is called a source code. Sa C, kung pinag-aralan niyo yung C before, ang tawag niyo dyan dati, source code. Okay. Pero in the context of in the context of Octave or Matlab, we call this as scripts. Okay. Tapos, bukod dyan, meron pa tayong functions. Like this one. Ito. Ay, wag yan. Kulang pala siya. Ito na lang. Ayan. This is called a function. Okay. Now, this is a function script. Okay. Basically because it starts with the function keyword. Okay. So, yung first line nito is basically a function declaration. Okay. And then whatever that function would do are here. Ito yung mga gagawin ng function niyo. Okay? So that's the basic difference between a script and a function. Yung script nyo, walang function declaration or walang function declaration sa first line. The function itself is, the function has a function declaration on the first line. That's one basic difference. Second difference niyan is how are they executed. Okay? For example, itong n factorial, okay, can be executed in the command window by calling that n factorial part. Okay? So, ayan. Now, it would ask for an integer. Say, for example, it would ask for, let's input a 9. Ay, wala dito yung ano. Okay, so anyway, kasi ano nga nyo pala yan, kasama sa task nyo yan dahil nasa file yan, kasama yan sa file. So, ilan sa mga task na ipe-perform nyo, kasama yan. Okay. So, kaya hindi pa kompleto yan. Okay. So, pero that's how you execute that's how you execute a script. Okay. While ang function is executed by calling the function. This is the function name. Okay, so you would have something like f whale call. Okay, and then you would state yung mga input mga input arguments niya. Okay, into the function. Okay? So, mag-i-state tayo dito ng mga arguments. Okay, so for example, meron tayong variable t, variable a, okay, variable y, and so on and so forth. Okay, maglalagay tayo ng mga inputs diyan. Okay? So, later on, once you are once you are on the activity 0, you would be able to perform, or you would be able to know the difference between the two. Okay, magkakaroon kayo ng idea, or magkakaroon kayo ng first-hand idea on how the two are different from each other. Pero in both cases, whether you are writing a function or writing a script, both of them would be written here in the editor. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, so sige. Finally, yung pang-apat na tab dito. Okay. The fourth tab there is the variable. Okay. So as the name suggests, this is where you can edit or manipulate variables. Okay, that's the environment where you can edit or manipulate variables. Okay, here's the thing. Nakita nyo kanina that when I commanded or that when I issued the command 3 plus 4, nagkaroon siya ng result na 7. Ano mo natin to? Yan. When I issued the command 3 plus 4, okay, ang result niya 7, tapos mapapansin nyo, may lumabas na variable dito. There is a variable here. Okay? Name A and S. Okay? This space, okay, or this part, okay, is called the workspace. Okay? The workspace, okay, visually presents the contents of memory allotted to Octave. Okay? So, basically, since memory siya, okay, what is stored in the memory are the values and variables used in Octave. So every time nagagamit kayo ng values or ng variable inside Octave, okay? You would have them to be saved into memory. Okay? Tapos yung variables or yung values na yon would then be reflected here in the workspace. Okay? So, basically, katulad nito, since I have the value of 7, okay, inside this or as a result of an operation that I performed inside Octave, okay, malalagay ito sa memory. Okay? Pero, para malagay siya sa memory, kailangan meron siyang variable name. That's basically because para ma-address ko ito, okay, para ma-address ko tong value na to, I need to have an address. Okay? I need to have a location on the memory. Okay? And that location is identified by the variable name. Okay? So that is why, whenever I am carrying out any operations inside the Octave, okay, the value or the resulting value would then be saved into a variable, okay, which then is saved or is then presented on the workspace. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. Now, the thing is, you can now access, okay, you can now access this pag nasa memory na siya, okay? If the value is on the memory then, okay? Or is within the memory of Octave then, you're now able to access them in the future. Okay, so for example, I can call out the variable ANS and then say for example, add it with another number, say 9. Okay? So that is equivalent to saying 7 plus 9. Okay, but the answer or the result of this is again stored on the variable ANS. Okay? And as you can see, bago na yung value nung variable kong ANS. So this operation now overwrites the previous content or the previous value of the variable ANS. Okay? Now, it is also possible that you can control what is the variable name. Okay, that is assigned to a result. Say for example, instead of having 3 plus 4 only, you can have it as x equals 3 plus 4. Okay? So as you can see here, Octave creates a new variable, okay, which contains the result of the operation 3 plus 4. Okay? Now, I would like to I would like to make that part clear. Okay? Saan na yun? Ito. Yan. I would like to make this clear with you that yung equal sign, okay? The equal sign as we interpret it in paper is not the equal sign as we interpret it in any programming language or any application software or any mathematical software. Okay? Iba yung interpretation ng equal sign sa papel at saka yung equal sign sa sa computational software. Okay? In this particular case, Octave or Matlab. Okay? Yung equal sign here, okay, does not really denote equality. Okay? It means assignment. Okay? The equal sign here does not denote equality, but rather it denotes assignment. That means, whatever is the result of the right hand of expression, we will call this the right hand expression because it is located on the right side of the right side of the equal sign, or of the assignment operator. Okay. Whatever the results of this expression is, okay, is assigned to this variable. Okay, ulit natin ha. The results of this operation on the right-hand side of the assignment operator, okay, is assigned to this one. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin itong dalawang to ay equal ha. Okay? When you write this in Matlab, okay, when you write this inside Matlab or inside Octave, it doesn't mean that HYP is equal to this one. Okay? But rather, the value of this, okay, is assigned to this one. Okay, anong implications nun? Unang-una, hindi ko pwedeng pagbaliktarin yan. That is, I cannot write SQRT x square plus y square equals HYP. Because Matlab or Octave would interpret this as the results of this would be assigned to this variable. So Matlab then would denote this as a single variable, which is not allowed. Okay, that would not be allowed in in Matlab because there are rules. Okay, there are rules on on assigning variable names. Okay? May mga rules tayo na sinusunod para masabi natin na valid or hindi valid yung variable name natin. When you go through the material, nandun yun. Okay? So, this is a no-no. Okay? Dahil nga, itong equal na to, okay, does not denote equality. But rather, this equal sign in Matlab denotes assignment. Okay? So, that is why, dapat, ang format natin ng pagsusulat, okay, the format of writing commands in Matlab or in Octave should be the variable name, okay, the variable name, and then the assignment operator on the right side should be the expression. Okay? So the result of this expression would then be assigned to this variable. Is that understood? Okay. So, sige. Now, let me issue a command lang muna like magic 10. Okay, so this magic 10 returns a this is called the matrix. Okay, this is called the matrix daw. Because it contains rows and columns of numbers. Okay? Ngayon, ito yung trabaho ng variable editor. If you actually take note that this matrix is contained in the variable ANS. Okay? This matrix is contained in the variable ANS. So that when I double click that ANS, take note na magbubukas siya sa variable editor. Okay? It opens up on the variable editor. When I double click any of the variables here, it would open up on the variable editor. Okay? And as you can notice, that variable editor is on a parang table type siya. Okay? In which each element, okay, is within a cell. Okay? Ito at saka to, okay, is it the intersection of a row and a column is called a cell. Okay? And we call this element in a matrix, each of the numbers that you can see inside the matrix, they are called elements. Okay? Now, each of the elements here can actually be edited. Say, for example, itong 83, you can double-click that one and then change it, say, for example, to 0. Okay? So that you are able to edit now your variables. Halimbawa ito, pwede natin palitan ng 0. Okay? So, if you go back to the command window and type in A to recall the variable ANS, you would see yung iniba natin. You would be able to see those things that we are able to change or that we are able to edit. Okay? Sino nakataas ng kamay? May question ba tayo? Okay. So, those are the four tabs that you can see on this in this large area here. Okay? So, are there questions so far? Wala naman? Okay? Naintindihan ba to? Sandali lang . Malolobat yung phone ko. Okay. So, finally, the last window or the last part of the Octave window that we haven't talked about it yet is this one, the command history. So obviously, as the name implies, okay, it keeps the history of all the commands that you have issued in the command window. Okay. So in my case, you would see that there are a lot of commands that I have already used here. Okay. So in order for you to recall, one of them, say for example this one. Okay. You just need to double click that command. Okay. So in that case, I double click load weather.mat. So it actually loaded, okay, the contents of the file weather.mat. That weather.mat is actually here. So we have here a file named weather.mat. What I did with this command was I loaded their contents. Ulit natin para makita nyo kung ano yung na-load. Okay, so again, at this point, walang laman yung workspace ko. My workspace does not contain anything. By the way, the clear command clears all the contents of the workspace. And if I double click, okay, the weather.mat command, okay, it loads this too because in yung content ng weather.mat. Okay? Now, is that clear? Kung ano yung ginagawa ng load? Sige. Now, one thing that you have to remember here when you use this command or this kind of command is that hindi to gagana, this would not work if the weather.mat file is not here. Okay? If the Octave cannot locate the weather.mat file in this location, it would try to look for it in another in a default location, okay? Pero kapag hindi niya talaga makita, it would return an error. Okay? So that again, as I reminded you earlier, if you have to use external files, okay? If you have to use external files, and you have to import those external files into Octave, then you need to have this file inside this file browser and this file directory. Kailangan nandito siya sa loob ng directory na to. And I can see it here in the file browser. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. Now, you might be wondering, sir, ano yung laman ng what is a mat file? Okay? You can the Matlab and Octave actually supports two types of files. Okay? Yung mayroong extension na .mat, okay, tsaka yung may extension na .m. Okay? Those files that has a .m extension are scripts or functions. Okay, so when you save your scripts or your function, it would have an extension of .m. Okay? Yung .mat are files that contain variables and their values. Okay? What would happen kasi is that, for example, ito. Let us clear this one. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I'll again issue the command y equals magic 10. Okay, so basically that again, I would create a matrix of a 10 by 10 matrix there. Okay, So as you can see, nasa ano siya, nasa workspace siya. Okay? Now, I can use the command save. Okay? I can use the command save, say for example, M or MAG. Okay? That mat. Okay? And then if I press enter, that MAG, that mat, would appear here in the there. It would appear here in this directory. It would be saved in that directory. So ito na ngayon siya. Okay? Now, what you can do if is if you need this file in a future session, kasi what would happen is that if I close this session of Octave, what would happen is that mabubura tong workspace. Okay? The content of this workspace would be emptied. Okay? Once I close this session of Octave. So say for example, parang na-clear na rin siya. Okay? Let us just assume that that variable is clear. Okay? Now I can use the load command to actually load the contents back into the workspace. So ito na ulit siya ngayon. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. Sige, pababa na. Now, so those are basically some of the things that you have to remember about Octave. Okay, those are the things that you have to remember about Octave, especially the environment. Okay. Now, in Matlab, okay, lang. Okay. In Matlab, yung environment ng Matlab tsaka environment ng Octave, the terms that we are using in the Matlab and in the Octave environment, okay, is basically pareho lang. Okay. By the way, CLC is for clear screen. Same thing with Octave. I can use CLC here to clear the screen. Okay, I can use CLC here to clear the screen. Okay, so I can also use this in Matlab. Okay, yun nga lang, paintay lang ng konti dito. Ayan. I'm just restoring the file path of my Matlab. Hindi niyo pa naman kailangan gawin ito. Yung sa akin lang kasi I made some changes before. Okay, when I use this for a certain training. Okay. So ayan. So again, as I am waiting for your Matlab to respond. Okay. As the environment of Matlab is not similar to the Octave, but the terms that we use, okay, the terms that we use in describing the different parts of Matlab and Octave are the same. Okay? For one thing, instead of a menu, okay, screenshot natin din ito. And then let us paste it here. Okay. So for one thing, ang mga major differences niyan is ito. Ang makikita lang natin, okay, what we can see in the Matlab environment are this. Okay? We have a ribbon type menu here, or ribbon type toolbar. Yan. So we have the toolbar here, which is ribbon type. Okay? in Octave, this is just simply a menu bar. Okay, pero ito ribbon type siya. Okay. We have here some quick access toolbar. Okay, wherein you can later on if this applies, this would be highlighted, save, documentation and everything. Okay, so may mga buttons diyan. There are buttons there that will be highlighted if they can be applied. Okay. Then you also have a quick search quick search bar here. Okay, wherein you can access the documentation from this search button. Okay. You have here the file browser. Okay. Although ang tawag ng Matlab dyan is current folder. Okay. And this is the directory. Ito. That long bar there is the current directory. Okay. This is the workspace. Okay. Same thing nung workspace ng Octave. This is the workspace. And this entire thing is the command window. Yan. This entire thing is the command window. So, whatever is being done in the command window of Octave and of Matlab are the same. Okay, same thing with the workspace. What happens with the workspace of Matlab is also how the workspace of Octave is defined. Ito ring file browser, ito ring current directory, the same. Now, as you can see, hindi nyo nakikita dito yung una, command history. Okay, you will not be able to see command history here. Okay, and you are not able to see the editor. Okay, also the ano ba? The variable editor. Okay. The documentation is not also seen. Okay. Pero isa-isahin natin. Yung documentation can be accessed by making a search here. Okay. O kaya typing doc in the command window. Okay. If you type doc in the command window, you would have this you would have the entire documentation page for your Matlab to pop out. Okay. Maliwanag to? Maliwanag ba to? Yung documentation? Okay, so this is the documentation ng May online version nito. So if you have, sige, pababa na. If you have an internet, you can also access this over the internet. Okay? So that's the documentation. You can open the command history, okay, by clicking on the layout. Okay? And then command history doc. So this will be your command history. Okay? Kung gusto niyo makita yung command history. Although kahit na hindi ito nakalabas, okay, let's close this one. Okay? Even if you do not have that command history appear on the right side, you can actually press the up arrow. Okay? In order for you to ilagay natin sa pop-up. Yan. You can actually press the up arrow in order for you to access the command history. Ito yung nagpa-pop up yung pop-up mode ng command history ninyo. So just by pressing the up arrow, okay, up arrow from your keyboard, you will be able to access the pop-up version of your command history. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, so sige, pababa na. Ano pa ba yung hindi natin nakita? Editor. Type in edit. Okay? Type in edit in order for you to have the editor appear. O kaya instead of typing edit, you can actually click this new script button. Okay, so this is now your editor. This will be your editor. Okay. And then as for the variable editor, let us create a variable that say y equals magic 10. Okay, so we have the variable y here. If you double click this one, lalabas yung variable editor. The variable editor would pop out. There. Okay, so same thing, you can double click one of these elements and say, for example, set this to 0. You can actually delete an entire column. Okay. There. So makikita nyo, magbabago yung size yan kasi nag-delete na ako ng isang column. So magbabago yung size ito. Okay, and so on. So this is the variable editor. So as you can see, whatever is on the Octave are also on Matlab. Okay? So parallel naman yan, pareho lang din yung the usage are also the same for each case. Okay? So that even if you are using Octave or your Matlab, you might be finding things differently. Okay? Pero basically both apps have the same sets of have the same set of windows that you can work on. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, sige. Pababa na ng kamay natin. Now, let us talk about how you would work on your report. Okay? Let us talk about how your report would be needed to work on. Okay. So again, as you tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, you have a manual, okay? You have a manual here, okay? And then a report here. Okay? So ang gagawin natin is ganito, ganito. I need you to read this manual. Okay, I need you to read this manual kasi again, there are things here that I was not able to discuss at this point. Okay. Although most of this nabanggit ko naman na, kaya lang what I would like you to do is to actually read it from here also. Okay? So that you can consolidate your knowledge. Okay? Although this material actually applies to Matlab specifically. Okay? Again, yung parallelism naman between Matlab and Octave is evident. So that I think you would be able to transfer knowledge from this manual, even if you are using Octave. Now, what you would be able to see here are program listings. Okay, so when you say program listings, these are the commands that you are to try out in Matlab or in Octave. Now, makikita nyo dito, you will be able to see here, for example, this one. Okay, this is where you would type the commands. So in this case, this is to be typed on a command window. Okay, Whereas later on, okay, later on, may mga may mga parts tayo dito in which, ayan, like this one. Okay, like this one. You have to type this in the editor and then file name this as n factorial. Okay? So, nakalagay naman kung saan nyo siya itatype, whether it's on the command window or on the editor. Okay? Is that understood? Okay, so sige pa ba? Now, what I need you to do is to try each of the program listings. Okay? I need you to try out each of the program listings. Okay? And then you report on the results or on what Matlab or Octave would return. Okay? Gusto kong i-report ninyo via screenshot on what Matlab or Octave would return after you have issued the commands. Okay? So, there are this is up to program listing 34. Hindi 34. Hindi pala na-print out yung ano. Kailangan kong palitan to. I also need to change your manuals. Check natin sa manual din. Hindi na kompleto yung printout. Basta nasaan to? Program listing around 44 or 42, something like that. Okay. I'll change na lang this this manual here. Okay. And then what I need you to do is to change or is to delete. Okay? I would like you to delete this manual. Okay? And change it with the manual that you would be seeing here. Here in the content library. Okay? Again, i-delete niyo yung manual na binigay ko sa inyo sa student notebook niyo. Okay? And then replace it with the manual that you would be seeing under this activity 0. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, so sige, pababa. So, what you would do is this. Okay, what you would do is this. You would perform, say for example, let's start with program listing 2. Let's start with program listing 2. Okay. So, under the program listing, you would perform this one. Okay? And then what you would do is you would make a screenshot, okay, of this, and then you have to report it here. Okay? You have to report it here. So, ito yung mga commands. Tapos ito yung mga bali screenshot ito, lumalabas. Okay? And then create a table. You have to create a table for each two-row table for each program listing. Okay? So, parang ganito siya. So, ito na yung program listing 2, no? Okay, program listing 3. Tapos, let us insert a table here. Okay? Let us insert a table. 2 rows yan. Okay? So, for program listing 4. Okay? So ipareho niyo ng length dun sa iba pa. Okay? Make sure na pare-pareho siya ng length para maganda tingnan yung report niyo, ha. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. So halimbawa itong program listing tree, no. Program listing tree is this one. Okay, so what I would do is I would type that. So let us have clear all. X1 equals -10 colon 10. Okay. Those things that are written after the percent sign may be excluded. Okay, because basically these are comments. Balik comment na lang kasi siya eh. So you don't need to really type it into the Matlab command, but it actually describes what happened or what happens here. Okay? So is that clear? Okay, so baba. So continuing on, so you have x1 equals yan. Okay, and then next x2 equals -10 2 colon 2 colon +10. Okay, and then x3 equals -10 0.5 10. Okay, and then x4 lint space -10 10 and 5. Okay. Now, what I need to do is to screenshot this one. Okay? I need to make a screenshot of this. Okay? So, in my case, I'll be using my snipping tool. Okay? So, kunin ko to. Ito lang muna kasi ito lang yung kasya dun sa ano. Okay, and then I'll paste it here. Dun sa report. Yan. So that's for x2. Okay. And then x3. Teka lang, kulang pala. Yan. And finally, export. Ayan. So, although what I would like you to do is to make this presentable kasi kung papansin niyo medyo iba-iba yung laki ng you would be able to see that the sizes of the fonts are different for each. So, I would like you to make this more presentable by having them having these fonts of the same size. Okay? Even if they are screenshots. Okay? Pero that is basically what I would like you to do. Okay? And I would like you to maintain that page width. Okay? As what was provided into your report. There. I would like you to maintain that Okay? Is this clear? Okay sige pababa. So remember that papalitan ko yung I would change the activity manual. Okay? I would upload it here sa content library. What you would do is to replace what I placed in your own manual by this one. Kasi hanggang kulang kasi itong naka-display dito. So I would have to change that. Okay? And then ayun, I think this is up to program listing 44 or 42, something like that. Okay? So that would be your activity 0. Now, do not just ito yung tatandaan nyo sa activities natin. Although I would base at this particular activity, I would base your grade or your grade would be based on how many you were able to perform. Pero tatandaan nyo na this is a very a lesson on fundamentals of Matlab or Octave. Okay? Baka kasi ang gawin ninyo, ang isipin niyo na lang is basta may pasa lang ako. Okay? So what you would do is you would just simply type everything. So type niyo lang yung nakalagay sa manual tapos ayaan niyo na kung ano yung lumabas diyan. Okay? The thing is, please do study pa rin yung mga commands. Okay? Please do study yung mga commands. Basahin niyo yung mga text. Okay? Learn. Okay, learn. This is an opportunity for you to learn Matlab. Again, I would not be able to teach you everything here. Okay? This would be your own effort. Okay? Your learning here would actually be dependent on how much effort you would be able to exert in making this activity. Okay? And therefore, this would also determine in the future, okay, how will you be able to use Matlab? Okay? Tandaan nyo na konting panahon lang yung may dedicate natin sa pag-aaral ng fundamentals ng Matlab dahil after nito there is also another activity that would introduce you, which is about script writing. Although there is a script and functions here, meron pa kayong separate activity about scripts and functions. Okay? And then from there, main lesson na tayo. Or doon tayo sa main ng Matlab at saka ng Octave. Okay? So please, do exert some more efforts in studying these fundamentals of Matlab. Hindi ko kayo matuturuan isa-isa nito. Okay? Pero if you are having problems, okay, pwede nyo namang i-consult sa akin kung ano yung nagiging problema ninyo. Okay? And then let's see what we can do. Okay? Is this clear? Okay, so sige, pababa na. Okay, so wala pa akong isa-set na deadline. Okay? I wouldn't set a deadline muna for this particular activity. Okay, siguro within the weekend baka meron na siyang deadline. Okay? So ayun. As much as possible, pwedeng simulan niyo na siya. Okay? Kaya lang pala may nakalimutan pa pala ako. Huwag niyo na rin muna pala galawin yung report. Please do not touch the report yet. Okay? Uulitin ko na lang yung distribution. Okay, may naalala pala ako, dapat pala may ginawa ako bago ko siya din-distribute. Okay. So sige, wag niyo munang galawin yung ano, wag niyo munang galawin yung manual at saka yung report. I-redistribute ko na lang siya. Okay. So sige, ako na lang bahala mag-distribute ha. Wag niyo na muna siya palang galawin. Ako na bahala. Okay? Is that clear? So sige. So I think we can end the session right here. Okay? And then and this is the last meeting that we will have this 2020. So yung next meeting natin sa January na. Okay. So again, wag niyo munang gagalawin yung asikasuhin ko lang muna siya. Okay, para masimulan niyo na rin siya. Okay? So I think we can dismiss the class. Thank you for attending today's meeting. I'll see you online on January 2021. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Christmas din po, sir.
Sige.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank
Happy
you, sir.
holidays po.
Thank you po.
Sir.
TY po.
Sige. Okay.